So, verse 41. So, this is on Vishwarupa Darshanam, chapter 11, right? So, 41 is starting with Sakheti Matva Prasabham Yaduktam He Krishna He Yadava He Sakheti Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vyapi Yachavahasartham Asatkritosi Viharashayya Sana Bhojaneshu Ekotha Vapi Achyuta Tatsamaksham Takshamaye Tvam Aham Aprameyam. So, if you remember where we had paused this, is where Krishna has shown his form to Arjuna. Arjuna has been in a state of awe. He's been in a state of awe and he is experiencing a grandeur that he has never experienced before. He is seeing something that he has never seen with his eyes open or eyes closed in his dream. He has never seen this kind of a form. And it's not just that he's seeing a form, he is seeing a form that is so grand and so glorious and which is doing something. It is consuming people that he knows as his own kith and kin. They're being consumed, they're being created, there are worlds created, there are worlds being destroyed. So he's seeing a whole lot of things really happening and exploding in front of him. So, as we said, he has gone through a phase of complete awe. And when you're in a state of awe and the mind is shut, the mind is literally frozen because there's nothing really to think about. When the mind goes off, at the instance of experiencing awe, it is a beautiful state. You will recall the state after, but while you're in that state, the mind is not operating. The mind is not doing anything there. It's just stunned. So this is that experience that he had. And then there are emotions that rose in him, in Arjuna. And the emotion was, we said it was a mixed emotion. It was he was absolutely exhilarated and he was praising this form. And he was also in complete gratitude. He was in full gratitude when he moved out of that being in awe state to now recognizing what has happened and what he's experiencing. The mind is now trying to grapple words and he's trying to speak out his experience. And who's he sharing with? He's sharing with Krishna only, because Krishna is the guy who's showing him the experience and there is nobody else for him to share also. So he's sharing it back with Krishna. And then now as he's sharing, he's come to a realization that, oh my God, who's this person, this being is actually my cousin, Krishna, right? His Vasudeva is his mama, Arjuna's mama. So his mama's son. Kunti is Krishna's attai, aunt. So this is their relationship. They're first cousins. And so that thought now comes to him. Say that, oh my God, this form that you're displaying now of this eternal Purusha, this Virata Purusha that you're displaying now, it is an expression that has come out from this person I know as Krishna. I know as Madhava. I know as a friend. I know as a cousin. So he's saying, Sakheti Matva Prasabham Yaduktam. I have been treating you like a friend. I would call you as Hey Krishna, Hey Madhava, Hey Sakhe, Hey Yadava. I would call you out with such names without knowing your grandeur. I was ignorant of who you really are. Ajanata. Ajanata mahimanam tavedam. Tava idam mahimanam aham na janami. I didn't know. Ajanata. Maya pramadat pranayena vapi. And out of negligence and out of affection to you, I used to address you so casually and so carefreely. So what his experience is now is of this grandeur, and this grandeur is it has come out of the same person with whom he was very casually engaging, transacting for so many years, right? And this particularly happens when at a very young age, when we get introduced, a lot of kids get introduced to spiritual masters at a very young age. Like, for example, um, I know of a friend who, as a very small boy, would go to meet Jnananandagiri as a little child, very little child. He used to live in Tirukovilur, and Jnananandagiri Swami was also in Tirukovilur. And this little boy would go and meet him. In fact, when he was born, uh, they had taken this little boy to Jnananandagiri ashram and to Swamiji, and he blessed the child and so on and so forth. And when the child grew a little bit, he used to run there and all. And when he used to call him Tata, right? So used to call him Tata. And when uh, Swami Jnananandagiri attained Samadhi, he was lying there on the bed, and then this little boy, he would go there and he would try to wake him and say, Tata, yen tungarar, why is Tata sleeping? What happened? Wake up, Tata, like that. And that guy is about my age. He's an office colleague of mine back in Singapore. And he'd say that when I grew up, I realized this person with whom I was so freely engaging as a child. Oh, today's Jnananandagiri birthday.
ஆமாம் குருஜி. இன்னைக்கு நீங்களே ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டீங்க அந்த அப்படியே அவரை பத்தி சொல்றதுக்கு.
பாருங்க அவரோட grace. His grace, see, he is making us think about him today. So there is a beautiful Brindavanam of his in Tirukovilur. Must visit. So this little boy, when he grew up, he said, what I was engaging with and doing all my games, he would run around in the Tirukovilur ashram in that place is called Brindavanam now. In Jnanandagiri's ashram, he would run around, play around, because his house was just maybe a couple of houses. Adala Agraharam style now. So if you've been to Tirukovilur, you'll notice the houses are in pretty much in Agraharam style. So he would run around and then he'll come in, because people will be visiting Jnanandagiri Swami. So this boy will run around, come around and all that. And when he grew up, he realized what he had received as a small boy was not ordinary. Not everybody gets to play with a Mahan like Jnanandagiri, right? And he says, this boy, and Jnanandagiri Swamigal had given his paduka, this thing to the boy when he was very small also, keep it, something like that he had given. And he was narrating to me, I was thinking, oh my God, do you realize the grace that is being offered to you? And then he's saying, after I grew up a few years later and all, I realized the greatness of this person when other people spoke to me and told me about the greatness, and when I heard his name had spread so far and wide, right? Like Swami Haridas Giri spread his name because he was his disciple. He would go singing, doing Nama Sankirtanam and all that. And he was Jnanananda Giri's disciple. So this happens in some of our lives, right? When we don't realize the treasure that has been with us all the time. Gladly, he had the understanding when he was still young to receive this knowledge and make some useful, make some use of it. Oh, very nice. So you were at Swami Haridas Giri's Brindavanam this year. Hmm. So
Tenangur.
Tennangur, yeah, yeah, beautiful place, beautiful place. I've been there. So the I the point is that a lot of times we miss out on recognizing the grace that we receive, and we keep looking for something else. And at some point to realize that it has been with us, it has been with us almost all the time. It is just for us to be able to open up our eyes and see it. That also requires grace, right? To be able to open our eyes and see that that grace has always been with us requires grace. But there are people who have been graced that way, like this little boy who grew up. He's got to know this at an age where he can actually do something with it. He can now realize that I have been blessed to have been in the presence of such a great master. Jnanananda Giri is known to have lived for 150 years, right? 158 years or something like that. Very long. So that kind of a master, you've been in the presence like a small child, etc. It shows that some Purva Janma Prarabdha that you're bringing, some tremendous sadhana and tremendous grace that you've brought along with you to get this. And we, all of us, have some of that already. What is happening to Arjuna is the same thing. He's now thinking that what I'm experiencing through this person, it's always been there. It is just that I was not asking the right questions. I was not open to receiving this understanding. I was not desperate to have this knowledge. On the battlefield, Arjuna was desperate. It was a state of desperation because if these questions that he had there was not answered appropriately, he would have dropped everything and would have gone. So it is at the brink of desperation that he was. And Bhagavan responded to that desperation. So in the same way, when we look at our lives, imagine what will happen if I come to this understanding when I'm about to die. Or when I'm very old and I can't move. And I can't do anything. That grace is always with me. Bhagavan has been there with me. If this understanding comes very late, won't you feel it was a wasted time? I've heard many people say, இத்தனை வருஷம் அப்படியே போயிடுத்தே. So many years have gone by, I didn't do anything. The important thing is, at least now, from now, let us not make ourselves in a position where we have 10 years later, we think back the same. It'll be worse. Itana varsham veena poche is because probably we were stuck with so many other things, and for some reason, even if opportunities came, our focus was not there, so we missed it. But now, if you have caught on to it, let it not go by. Make this as the central purpose of your life. In the yatra, we were discussing, and someone was asking me gently about my life's journey, particularly how. One thing I said, amongst other things, as I was explaining, I said one thing is somewhere I made this quest, this journey, as the principal journey of my life. Everything else will be around it. I'm earning money so that I can spend time in introspection. I'm buying a house, or I'm living in a comfortable place so that I can have time for sadhana and meditation and dhyana and japa. I'm eating proper food so that I can do this. I am, whatever I am doing, we should try to make sure that this is the central theme that runs in our life. Everything else should be an enabler for this. Even if you're doing things that you don't like, you're doing it so that that is done with and you can focus back on this. Even things that we don't like to do, we sometimes have to do it so that you can come back to the central theme, which is your inner spiritual development, growth, understanding. So if this gets missed out at every point, we have to bring our attention back to this. Say that, no, right now, I make a resolve. Arjuna was very fortunate. Not all of us will be as fortunate. What if we get all of this, but yet for us to really understand, oh my God, how blessed I am to have received this. Let me make this as the primary theme and goal and pursuit in my life. If we don't, again, 5 years later, we will keep thinking back saying that, ayo, I had all of this, but still, I got stuck in other priorities. We will always have excuses. We will always have excuses. Opportunities like this come. If it will go, it will go. Bhagavan will not care or worry about it. He'll wait for another turn, another round to come. He will send you another opportunity. But on the cycle, epo varum, we don't know. We don't know when that cycle will come again. So make this as the primary pursuit in our life. Now, when we do this, then like Krishna, we would recognize that right now grace has been flowing. So what Krishna is recognized, like Arjuna, I'm sorry, always keep interchanging the names. So like how Arjuna is recognizing that this is the Krishna who's always been there. So now he will think back of all those times. I was playing with you, I was giggling, I was pulling your leg, I was teasing you. I was calling you with funny names, right? I was casually making references to you or about you. So now he's feeling, in a way, he's feeling guilty because he's realizing that I have not given him the kind of respect he deserves because he is the Lord of the universe, Jagannatha. So he says, Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam, he Krishna, he Yadava, he Sakheti, Ajanata, Mahimanam, Tavedam, Maya Pramadat, Pranayena Vapi. Yachavaha sartham asakritosi, asatkritosi, Viharashayya sana bhojaneshu, ekotha vapi, vap, vapi, achyuta tat samaksham, takshamaye tvam aham aprameyam. So he's saying, whatever I have done, I would have done it out of complete ignorance. Playing with you, resting with you, eating, walking, sleeping, whatever. I want to seek forgiveness from you. And where is this attitude coming from, that I want to seek forgiveness? It is not necessarily about, it is not out of fear. It is not a fear that, oh my God, what will he do next to me? Right? Now I know he is all powerful and I have ill treated him. What will he do to me? It is not coming from that fear. It is coming out of deep reverence. And it is a matter of saying. When Arjuna is asking forgiveness to Bhagavan, it is in a matter of saying that you are such a great, you are the creator, you are the principal conscious element in all of this creation. I have taken you lightly, which means I have taken my life lightly. Sorry. I have taken my life lightly. This we should all feel somewhere. We should all feel somewhere, because it's always from here, where do I go? From here, where do I go? Doesn't matter how I was earlier. From here, how do I go? From here, right now, if I'm able to think, you have wasted my time. Or maybe I should have spent more time and stuff like this. I should have done a little more sadhana, a little more japa, a little more tapas. Now that thought is a fabulous thought, but let it not go in waste. Immediately put it to action. So that is the seeking forgiveness. Forgiveness, oh, like a lot of time my daughter will say, you're sorry, da, she'll say, no, you're not really sorry. Then I'll think, okay. Because a lot of times, we tell, வலிக்கிறது அப்படின்னா, she's in pain, I'll say, oh, sorry. I'll say, you don't feel sorry, don't say. But she's saying it out of her pain. But that sorry is, we know it is like, just chuma, it's on the surface, right? A little bit on the surface. And you're trying to comfort the person. But no, here, this is not about that. This, that feeling of forgiveness, please, I'm feeling sorry. I'm feeling, I want your forgiveness, is essentially you're telling yourself that I'm sorry I have wasted my time. I'm sorry I have not spent my time in this pursuit. And not just leaving it at that. Not just saying that, Ayo, I'm sorry, and then going saying that, no, I'm no good, no point. No. If you're sorry, do something about it. You feel that the time was lost, do something about it right now. Immediately take a sankalpa and do it. From tomorrow. Why tomorrow? From today, I will immediately start picking up something. Next 21 days, I will do this. Something like that. This is how it develops. This is how it builds. So now Arjuna is saying, I am seeking forgiveness, O Bhagavan, because I did not know that you, this Krishna, this Yadava who was playing around with me, is the source of all creation. Then he says, forgive me how? Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvamasya pugyascha gurur gariyan. Na tvat samosti abhyadika kutonyah lokatrayepi apratima prabhava. So he says, you are the father of the universe, of all that is moving, and unmoving. Characharasya. And why is he saying you are the father? Because in the next verse he'll say, like a father, forgive me. So he says, you are the one who, Tvamasya Pugyascha Gurur Gariyan, you are the greatest supreme spiritual teacher, and you are worthy of worship. And there is nobody equal to you. Lokatrayepi apratima prabhava. There is no pratima of you. Lokatraye api. There is no pratima, means no equivalent of you. Apratima prabhava, of your glories. No one incomparable. In all the three verses. I say, who can be? Kutonyah. Kuto anyah. There's nobody else who can be greater than you. Abhyadikah kutonyah. And then he goes on to now say, Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam. Therefore, O Lord, I prostrate before you. Prasadaye tvam aham isham idyam. Please, O Lord, as a father, piteva putrasya sakheva sakhyuhu, as a father who forgives the child, please forgive me. Sakheva sakhyuhu, and as a friend does to a friend. Priyaf priyayarha arhasi. Priyaf priyaya arhasi deva sodhum. And like a lover forgives a beloved, in the same way, O Bhagavan, please forgive me. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam. I bow down to you and I request your grace. Pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvam aham isham idyam. O Supreme Lord, give me your grace. Prasadaye. Piteva putrasya sakheva sakhyuhu priyaf priyaya arhasi deva sodhum. In the way the Pita forgives the son, the Putra, the friend forgives the friend, the lover forgives the beloved. In the same way, tolerate me and forgive me. Deva Sodhum. And then, in this last verse, before he hands it over to Bhagavan, or Bhagavan starts responding, he says, Adrishta purvam hrishitosmi društva bhayena cha pravyatitam mano me tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagannivasa. Now, please, now that I've seen this glorious form of yours, I cannot continue seeing this. It is physically, it's very exhausting. Please bring yourself back to the lower glorious form, which is the Chaturbhuja, the four hands form. So now he's saying, Adrishtva Purvam, having seen Hrishitosmi Drishtva, that which has never been seen before, and I'm seeing this with so much of joy and exhilaration. Now my mind trembles with fear. Bhayenacha pravyathitam manome. Now there is a little bit of fear that is entering. Tadeva me darshaya deva rupam. Hence, show me your, have mercy on me and show your um, um, pleasing form. Prasida devesha tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagannivasa. Show me that pleasing form of yours so that I will be able to get out of that fear. Okay. So this one and the next one, we'll read the next one and then I'll look at the little bit of the inner meaning also there. Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam. So he's saying now come to this normal form. What is the normal form? Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam. With a crown, with a gada, with a chakra. Ichchami tvam drashtamaham tathaiva. Tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhava vishwamurte. So from the 1,000 arms that you have, sahasrabaho, from the 1,000 armed one, come to your Chaturbhuja Rupa. I want to see this Chaturbhuja Rupa of yours because this is now starting to instill fear in me. Okay. Now, what is this situation? Now he has moved various emotions, if you notice, right? Now he's come to an emotion of fear. So previous one was gratitude, and then he's seeking forgiveness and he's adoring him. Now he's saying that I'm experiencing fear. Fear we spoke about last week also, I think, where that was also a mixed emotion he carried when he saw this form. And this fear is there. We discussed about this fear is because we have not practiced the possibility of dissolving the self consciously. Our mind, our identity, we have not consciously sat down and dissolved to say that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this identity that I've created. Right? This prakriya of neti neti, we have not practiced. Even Arjuna has not practiced. And when we don't practice this, what happens is when you start realizing that you're dissolving, there is fear that will come in. Because the mind in the conscious state does not want to dissolve. And we've spoken about this. Mind either wants to go into sleep or it wants to be active. It will put you to sleep. That is why when we try to do meditation, we tend to go off to sleep, is because the mind, actively in meditation, you're trying to shut the mind. And the mind doesn't like it. So the mind will try to put you off to sleep. Because the mind now knows in sleep, I am also switched off and this person is also switched off, nothing can happen. But in the conscious state, the mind alone is switched off, but the person is conscious, then mind or a value, the mind will lose its value. So it will try to assert itself. So that way, fear comes because there is a sense of dissolution. You're becoming nothing. And when you become nothing, then there's a huge fear that will come from inside because it's a preservative force. Our primal tendency is to preserve this form, this identity. It's a primal tendency, an animal tendency. It's an animal tendency. It wants to preserve. That is one way. The other is when Arjuna is looking at Krishna in this Vishwarupam, somewhere his mind did not register the fact as he is also inside that. He was thinking that, okay, that is Bhagavan, that is great, it's the whole universe, it's the cosmos and everything, all my brothers, everybody going in, coming out, all universe's creation, destruction, everything is happening. But still the mind somewhere said, I am here. So when the mind goes into a certain, and this is something that I've always told, and all Vedanta masters say this, that remember all that I am talking about. Like Swami Tejo Mayananda in a talk says this. Please understand, I am not talking about some Atman, I am talking about you. As long as we think about Atma, Paramatma, Jivatma, some of these names, some entities on the outside, it will never hit us that it's about me, it is about I. This, it's about this. It is not about some XYZ. As long as we objectify, because the mind always likes to objectify, as long as we keep objectifying it, that realization will never occur. Because it will just be knowledge that we are gathering. It is not experience. And when experience occurs, we will know that you just close your eyes and you're sitting here. What is this? Here, here, here. What is this? In your third eye, in the Agnya Chakra or in the heart. What is this? What is this that is there? Under all circumstances, it is there. Whether I'm happy, I'm joyful, sad, I'm laughing, I'm jumping, I'm extremely depressed, I'm very excited. I got a lot of money, I lost a lot of money, I built a house, my house got burnt. All of that is happening. My relatives died, new children born. All of that is happening. Where am I? This, whenever I look down, at whatever age, this thing is there. This I am there, I am there, I am there. When you bring our mind to this, then we know that I is there irrespective of all situations, all conditions. Whether you live, whether you die, it doesn't matter. So now what is happening to Arjuna? He is not able to process this. He is somewhere, for him, he is still outside and Bhagavan is there. Is the network okay? Able to hear?
Dropping a bit in
Okay.
between.
Is it okay now? Okay. Yeah, so we'll wrap up. So this is Arjuna's situation, that he has not been able to see this whole thing within him. He is still seeing it on the outside. So fear as an emotion now again dominates, and he is telling, please come back to your normal form. Because he is realizing that I am this and this is Paramatma. This is Jivatma and this is Paramatma. So this dichotomy he is in, and then he is requesting Bhagavan, can you please come back to your normal form? Can you please come back to the form of Chaturbhuja? Right? Even in temples, I have seen you only in 4 arms. I have not seen you with 1,000 arms. So come back to that normal form. Okay. So that is Arjuna's condition. We will see next week how Bhagavan responds to this. Okay. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikayeti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.
Hari Om, thank you, Ji.
Hari Om.